Hello, how are you? Today I'm going to show you an amazing recipe for a flan without condensed milk, without heavy cream, and without any flour to thicken it. You're going to love it. It has far fewer calories, much less carbs than a traditional flan, and it's sugar-free. So it's perfect if you're trying to lose weight. If you want to control your weight, you're going to love it. It's a very healthy and super tasty recipe. Stay until the end, you won't want to miss it. If you love recipes that are easy, quick, and healthy with few ingredients and that are budget friendly, you're going to love this channel. Go ahead and like this recipe and subscribe to the channel. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you get all the updates. I post new videos every day and you're going to love them. Let's get started with our recipe, which is super quick. Remember, the ingredients with the correct amounts and the nutritional information will be down below in the description. When we think of flan, we think of that creamy, delicious texture that bastes the flan with the syrup, because it has to have that syrup. So let's make the syrup first. We'll make the syrup, kind of use it to coat the dish, caramelize it, and then we'll make the flan mixture. So here I have some water, which is warm, to help me dissolve the cocoa powder a bit. So I'm going to add the cocoa here, because if we put it in cold water, it gets complicated, since cocoa powder dissolves very differently from drinking chocolate powder. Drinking chocolate powder dissolves even in cold milk, but cocoa doesn't. You have to heat the liquid a bit. So that's what I did here, because I want a chocolate syrup. We're going to make a chocolate flan, but in small jars. Tell me, do you like recipes for ice cream, flan, sweets, desserts? Things that work well as dessert, but also as a snack. So if you like recipes like this, leave a like so I know you enjoyed it. And tell me, what's your favorite flan flavor? Remember, I have a playlist of sweet recipes with lots of different options here on the channel. I'll leave it down below in the description for you. So look, we've already dissolved the cocoa here. Now I'm going to add the sweetener. For this recipe, I'm using xylitol because it really gives that caramelized texture. So we're going to mix this well, and I'll put it in the microwave for 30 seconds at a time until it turns into caramel. After it has caramelized, I'm going to line 2 identical containers with this syrup, but for now it's still watery, so I need to put it in the microwave to turn it into syrup. Remember that I have a playlist here on the channel talking about different types of sugar, sweeteners, xylitol, stevia, erythritol, brown sugar, and demerara sugar. I'll leave it down below in the description for you. If you don't have any restrictions and want to use brown sugar or demerara sugar, you can, but remember that it will add calories and carbohydrates. So I'm going to put this in the microwave and I'll be right back. Hold on. Look, so after 2 minutes, it will look like this. I'll show you the consistency so you can see. It looks like honey, like syrup. It's very different from before when it was watery and the sweetener granules were still visible. I have another container here. I'm going to put about half of it in here and spread it along the sides, just like we do with flan. So now we line the sides well and leave whatever is left at the bottom. Later, I'll clean it up to make it look nice. But just so you understand what I mean, look, we spread it along the sides like this to cover the edges evenly. You can even go a little higher up if you want to get more coverage. I'm going to add a little more right here just to make sure everything is nice and even. When we cook the flan here later, first, it's easier to unmold. I'm making a mess here. And second, you'll get that syrup dripping down. I'm going to wash my hands because I got them all dirty, tidy up this side a bit, and I'll be right back. Hold on. So, while it cools down a bit and the syrup sticks better to the sides of our dish, let's make the flan batter. For the batter, I'm going to use an egg here. Let me mix the white and yolk together really well, because this is a very important step. Remember that I have a video here on the channel about what happens if you eat eggs every day, whether eggs raise cholesterol or not. And there's also a really cool video talking more about what happens if your main source of protein in your diet comes from eggs. So I'll leave that video down below in the description for you. To the beaten egg, I'm going to add more cocoa powder. Let me scrape it a bit here, because cocoa tends to stick on top of everything else. And I'm going to give it a good mix again to dissolve this cocoa here. So this is a step that will take a little more time because cocoa is a bit harder to dissolve. So let's mix it well and I'll be right back. All right, the cocoa is dissolved here, so now I'm going to add the sweetener again. Use the same sweetener you used to make the syrup, or if you prefer, you can use a different one. Because here, since you don't need to caramelize, if you want to save the xylitol for the syrup or other more specific uses, since it's more expensive, you can do that. And if you want to use any other more affordable baking sweetener here, that's totally fine. We need to mix this well until it's dissolved, but I'm already going to add the milk here so we can mix everything together and dissolve it properly. There are still some grains of sweetener here, as you can see, but that's not a problem. I'll mix it well until it's as dissolved as possible. Of course, later in the microwave, it will dissolve completely, 100%. So I'll just give it a quick mix here and then I'll come back so we can divide it up and put it in the microwave. Well, my mixture has dissolved here and I've already grabbed the containers, which have cooled down and aren't dripping anymore. So now is the time for us to pour the flan mixture on top. I'll put about 2 spoonfuls here and in the other one as well. And then I'll split it evenly so there's no fighting. So I'll put 2 here. I think I can go ahead and put 3. Here as well. And we keep adding until the amounts are the same. So now I'm going to take this to the microwave. I'll tell you in a bit how long it took and I'll be back with it so we can unmold and taste this flan. I'll be right back. Hold on. Look, it's a bit hot now, so be careful when you take it out of the microwave. It took about 3 minutes. Do the toothpick test. It should come out clean. Now let's wait for it to cool down a bit, then put it in the fridge so we can try it cold because hot flan just doesn't work. I'll be right back. Well, I added a bit of chocolate sprinkles here to make it look nice and add a little texture. If you don't want to, you don't have to add anything. Let me know down below. Now I'm going to cut a piece so you can see what the texture of our mini microwave chocolate flan looks like. Look at this. Make it at home and you're going to love it. So tell me, what's your favorite dessert flavor? I'd love to see your comment. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like because it really helps me out. Speaking of helping others, share this with someone you know will like it, with someone who needs it. Let's work together, you and I, to grow this chain of kindness. That's what I want here on the channel. Let's taste it. It's amazing, and it's the perfect size for those times when you find yourself really craving a sweet treat, but you just don't want to go through the trouble of making a big dessert, so it doesn't end up just sitting in the fridge for days and you don't end up overdoing it by eating too much. Instead, make this single serving, quick, easy, and incredibly delicious. See you next time. Bye.